My second thing is it's kind of deconstructionist.
Okay.
So here's the thing.
Getting heady.
Normally I'd take you to the poetry corner.
Oh, are we going? Can I sing it?
Today,
Oh, no.
I'm going to take you to where the poetry corner is made.
Welcome to the stool factory. Over here is where we keep the cushions. Over here is where we keep the stool legs. That's all that goes into the stool.
Poetry.
It's the poetry corner. Can you explain what you mean?
So I realize that poetry is kind of an unfamiliar medium to a lot of people. And I don't know if our listener really realizes the process that goes into writing a poem.
Our one listener, and Toby.
Thank you, Toby.
Thank you, Toby, so much.
Toby, how about you tell a one friend?
No, it wouldn't be. I want it to be, because we make so many Toby-based jokes,
true.
and, Toby's friends aren't going to get those.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I guess I was thinking a lot about podcasts like Song Exploder.
Sure.
Or documentaries, or kind of, the making of featurettes where you talk to an artist about how they put something together.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people are kind of familiar with that context now in a lot of areas, but not necessarily with poetry. And it's very similar to that.
Yeah.
Something that I got really interested in, I think when most people start writing poetry, they start from a very personal place of like, I feel really sad about this person that didn't like me back, or I feel lonely and this is the thing I'm writing about that.
Mm-hmm. Or I saw a pretty tree and now I'm going to try to write some sort of floral Appalachian poetry about it and not do good.
But I think the more time I spent with poetry, the more I got kind of into like the precision of it.
Okay.
So I thought I would share something I've written.
Hell
before.
yes.
And
like a recent one or like from school?
No, this is an old one.
Okay.
This is actually after school.
Oh, man.
Not like an after school
poem,
but like one I wrote.
The trucker speed. Put it down to the ground where the trucker speed lives. No thanks, Toby.
I really liked that one.
Thank you. Yeah. So can I ask if your poem involves any sort of sexual ice cream imagery at all? Because I need to know if I need to prepare my body.
No, this is one I wrote after I finished my graduate degree, and I wrote it in the summertime. So I thought it would be appropriate for this time of year, which is also the summer.
You're sure there's no ice cream imagery?
No ice cream.
Okay.
Anyway, I wrote this in May 2008.
Okay.
And so now I'm embarrassed to read it.
No, why?
Because you wanted ice cream so bad.
No, I hate ice cream. I want the real shit.
Okay. My damp face follows the hollow vein of the wing. Summer stokes the insect. I speak the hum of her motion. In tempered flight and fold, the fly cuts an upward bend, stretches her lenses to land, senses in her legs to land again. To settle on your ear, itself all bend in strength, a curved pail for collecting, a sense for sound, for balance. And behind the sound, the fly finds her branch in bent channels, a strength within the most delicate skin around a middle of spun air.
It's so fucking good, Rachel.
Thank you.
I don't get a lot of Rachel's, you have not shown me much of your poetry, and it's so good. And I get what you're saying about the precision, because it felt like every word of that was like exactly, the right one, right where it needed to be.
So here's some of the unpacking I did for that. So, did the line, I speak the hum of her motion, resonate with you in any way?
Yeah.
There is a Walt Whitman poem where he says, I sing the body electric.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know that, but mostly from Fame. There's a musical Fame in this part of the...
So that really kind of inspired me, and it's kind of hidden in there, that line.
Okay.
Also, in order to do this poem, I researched how hearing works, how ears work.
Interesting.
So that thing about in the poem... Yeah, here we go. To settle on your ear, itself all bend in strength, a curved pail for collecting, sense for sound, for balance. And then at the end, a strength within the most delicate skin around a middle of spun air, like how your eardrum resonates with sound, like the vibration that carries in and how you hear. So I did research on that. And then I did research on flies too.
Yeah.
And kind of learned about how flies move, and kind of their whole process for landing and traveling. So I guess I think, for me, it was really kind of transformative to get to that place in my writing where it wasn't just about expressing some like very urgent emotion, but kind of doing research and exploring, what it is that's interesting and how it relates to other things. And it's a lot of kind of what we do in this podcast in a way, of like, I get interested in something and research it, and then I try and kind of put it together like a brief way of telling the story.
Yeah, for sure. And I really liked that about, I sort of felt that same way about the poem, and that just in how much like sort of obvious work you put into the science of it. Mm-hmm. And also like what a stark contrast it was from some of the other poems that you've brought that are like, there's so many, I guess I never really appreciated. There's a lot of different kinds of poems, huh? Sure is a lot of different kinds of ones of them.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean? Because it wasn't like, I like Michigan and here's why. It was like,
no, that's true.
Here's just, here's a cool poem about a bug.
About a bug in the summer. So yeah, I guess I really like the process of writing a poem. And I think it relates a lot to composing any kind of new creative work, of kind of having an idea and then doing some research to support that idea. And kind of making connections in that process and ending up with something that's much more complex than you started out with.
Yeah.
I feel like, you and I have talked about that when you write music for Adventure Zone, or when you're putting a story together, thinking about kind of a few pieces and then finding opportunities for, the story to pivot or to create kind of an interesting turn. And I really like that about creative writing. Because you kind of sit down thinking one thing and then learn something in the process and make a connection that's much more exciting than the original idea.
Did you ever sort of, I want to say indulge, but that's probably not that seems a little insulting maybe, in like, in the more sort of emotionally charged, less sort of precise.
Honestly, it's not a strength I've ever had. I think because what's interesting to me about writing poems is the precision.
We've been hacked. Ah, shoot.
More than kind of the catharsis of it. So I have written emotionally charged stuff, but never anything that felt good to me. It was more like getting it out of my system than like, oh, was a satisfying exercise, because it's not what I find interesting about writing.
Sure. Your vows were like that, though. I guess it wasn't technically a poem. But
no, and I was just saying them to you. It was nice stuff I said to you.
There were lots of other people there.
But, like, it's different.
It was like, what was it? It was like...
I'm starting at the tempting top of my ice cream cone.
That's right. And then I was like, am I the ice cream cone? And then I got really sweaty because I was like, whoa. Whoa. That was a very good poem, baby. I'm so glad that you read it on our show.